Hello everyone and welcome to the Helping Rhinos Virtual Safari. I'm here on the Amakhala Game Reserve with Dr. William Fowlds and our guide for today, Liam. Will, what are we up to?
Morning, Simon. A beautiful day in Africa.
Yeah, little chilly.
Hoping the weather warms up and the wind doesn't get too bad, but at the moment the birds are singing and it's great to be out here. I don't think I've fully woken up yet, but that's the best way to start the day, nice and early. And so, yeah, we're going to take a meander through the reserves, hoping to find some rhino, because there's a particular one that we need to collar today. So that'll come at the end of the virtual safari, but for now, let's see what Liam has in mind. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I think rhino is definitely a good idea. I've been hearing through the guide vine, I guess, about some black rhino potentially in that area, right? White rhino as well, so we'll see what we come across. Yeah.
Cool.
See what we see. So we're going to do a rhino procedure as well at the end. What does that mean?
So it's part of the management, particularly to look after these animals from an anti-poaching perspective. And we fit them with tracking devices. And there's an animal on this reserve that needs a new collar. So part of our drive will be to go and find her and her crash in that area of the reserve where she was last seen. And from there we'll meet the teams, we'll set up the whole operation and go from that position.
Well, I guess we'll talk about that more when we get there, but for now we should get on the vehicle and get going.
And enjoy the day.
Cool, very good. Right.
So this part of the reserve is sort of what we call the sand forest. It's got a very sandy texture to the soils. Used to be ancient sand dunes because the coast is not far from us here. This broken vegetation has all recovered since we started Amakhala as a reserve. In the farming days, this would have all been cleared and kept open for animals like sheep and goats. So this is part of our rewilding process to have created this habitat, typical habitat for white rhino, this, and obviously grazers where there's grass. But on the fringes where it gets thicker, then you'll get bridles. So we could see a mixture of anything. Hopefully sometime soon.
They're waking up.
But
it's a bit of a cloudy day, but the sun is beginning to now show itself over the horizon, which is good.
Sun's peeping up, but yeah, just enjoying the crisp morning air. So we've got a beautiful heron. Look at that. Yeah, one of the prettiest birds out here. So when you see a beautiful bird, like especially this time of the day when the light's just starting to peep out, from a photographic safari perspective, this is the best time, I think, to be out. Early morning or late evening.
Golden hour, is it?
Yeah, beautiful. So I get such a thrill out just being able to, well, as you do with your camera, be able
I have my camera ready for when we see these wildlife that's going to come and entertain us.
It's more like a bazooka. And then also just listening to the bird calls, because you can hear more than you can see, especially in these early hours of the day. It's just a special time to be out, good for the soul. Just makes you sort of settle into the rhythm of the bush and clears away all the other rubbish like admin.
Exactly. We spend too long at our desks, but when you come on safari, you're up early. I mean, your alarm is normally set for 5 o'clock at least. And you're out early before it's really properly light. But it's absolutely worth it. Yeah. So Will, you mentioned that this was rewilding, and of course this is part of, from a Helping Rhinos perspective, Rhino Strongholds is a key strategy for us, creating these expanded wild spaces for wildlife. Focuses on the protection, the reintroduction of rhino. And in fact, here we are in Amakhala is at one end of part of our Rhino Stronghold. So this rewilding is really important, and this creation of wildlife corridors and dropping of fences, but why is it so important to the future of rhino?
Yeah, so I mean, my family have lived here for 5 generations. I'm number 5, and over that period of our history, we fragmented this landscape with fencing because we wanted to farm with domestic species. And that unfortunately doesn't work well with nature, especially mega herbivores and wild animals that need lots of space. So you've got to defragment as part of the rewilding process, which is what we've done here. And by creating the space and connectivity, we now give animals that need lots of space. Just stop here quickly, Liam. The room to move, basically. There's a beautiful bird on our left. What is that one, Liam?
That's a pale chanting gospel.
Ask them close to us. Species like this, which we never saw growing up here, have come back because this habitat is rewilded itself largely. We've given it room to breathe, but now it's taken on a life of its own. And there are so many smaller creatures and obviously birds that have just found new space here and are thriving because we have just tweaked a few little things on the ground. So maybe we do 10-20% of the work, and then nature does
the rest. I think that's it, isn't it? It's these ecosystems. We're focused on rhinos, but only because that's the sort of the figurehead, if you like. I have to get asked why rhinos. What about everything else? No, isn't it? And actually, if you focus on rhinos, you say things like the pale chanting goshawk and other things, all the other, from the dung beetle right up, it's all interconnected. And if you lose one, you start to lose all the others. So. And in the background, I don't know if you can pick that up on a mic, but there's a jackal calling. It's very loud. Very loud. And you can hear them calling to each other, right? Choir starting. So, before rewilding, that would have been a chilling noise because they were considered the enemy to the farmers.
Because they used to eat our sheep. And we spent most of my childhood trying to eradicate jackal because they just clashed with our land use, that sort of human-wildlife conflict. Now they're one of the most beautiful species that you can see out here, very important to the ecosystem. And that noise is just one of those bush sounds that really, I think, centers you in the experience of being out here, this sort of familiarity of this jackal choir. It's a classic sound of the African night, isn't it? When you hear the jackals start calling and the nightjars start calling. So it's lovely to hear it, to hear them. So a big cultural shift for humans too in the rewilding process from something that would have been a negative suddenly being a positive. And I mean, there are still farms around the area, and part of what we're trying to do with the Strongholds initiative in opening up these corridors is obviously taking these farms and repurposing them to be wildlife areas. How is that perceived? How has it felt from locals, from the local farmers? Are they on board with it? Are they pushing back against it? So the areas we're trying to rewild are marginal farmland areas. These are not high productivity zones. They're not critically important for food security. Those aspects we need to keep intact because you've still got to keep humanity alive. You've still got to grow food. But what the rewilding process aims to do is to establish the ecological connectivity, but still establish zones or maintain zones where humans live, where humans grow food. So it's not a wall-to-wall rewilding vision. Mm-hmm. It's more this mega landscape, mega living landscape, I think is the word that we use now, of a mosaic of conservation and human activity. And that sort of interconnectedness, or what's the word we use, coexistence, is such an important principle of what we're trying to achieve. Some zebra up there. Yeah, beautiful herd of zebra. I think you call them a herd, do you? Dazzle, maybe? Do you call them a dazzle, can't you? A dazzle. I don't know if you call them a herd. Liam, what do we call a zebra?
A group of zebras called a dazzle.
A dazzle.
Correct.
Okay, a dazzle of zebra. Thank you. With sort of sunrise behind them. It is a dazzling sight. Yeah, so one of our sort of more common species, what we would refer to as a bulk grazer. Really important for the ecosystem because of the role they play as lawnmowers, but because there are hundreds of them here. but this is one of the species we brought back as part of our rewilding process.
And they're endemic to the area.
Well, the original endemic species here was actually the quagga. So, part of the sort of sadness, I suppose, of losing species over the years is that some of them will never get back again. And quagga was a half zebra, half horse looking colour. Now we've just got zebra with stripes across their whole bodies. In fact, these are quite pretty because their stripes go quite far down the legs. A lot of these Birchells or plains zebras, they don't have the clear markings all the way down their legs. See this one, how pretty his stripes are. Beautiful. But it's probably one of the most underrated animals from a beauty perspective. They really are just incredible. When you look at them close up, like the makeup that they wear around their eyes and their eyelashes.
It takes some ages to put it on in the morning, right?
It does. It takes a long time.
So we're going to go see if we can find some black rhino. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Well, look, some buffalo.
Oh, there's a nice sighting.
It's quite a big herd, eh?
Yeah, it is. It is. Look at that.
And I've heard it said many times, these are one of the most feared animals by rangers.
Yeah, they're very deceptive because they look like cows as we're viewing them now. But they, of all the species, I think they've got the least self-preservation instinct of the lot.
Right.
When they get cross, they don't care about their own well-being. Whereas a lot of other, even dangerous animals, are quite calculated about taking risks. These guys are really fearless, and if you get them angry, they're quite a formidable threat. And they also, as a herd, when they get going, that mass of bodies running through a place, it's very hard to find shelter. Giraffe.
Oh.
Look at those beauties.
It's got a few there as well.
Yeah, they're huge. Look at how big this guy is. Massive male here.
It's got
towering down over us.
Look at that.
Look at that. What?
They're just standing, posing, looking right at us.
And a nice morning light. I like it. So he's ruminating away, as ruminants do. Quite incredible how they move that food from their stomachs up that long neck to regurgitate and chew it. Lovely.
Just like cattle would. So I heard that although their neck is a lot longer than ours, it has exactly the same number of vertebrae in the neck, right?
Yeah, exactly the same. They have an incredible physiology, these guys, because they've got to pump blood all the way up to the top there, and the same heart pumps blood to their feet. So it's
that's right. It's a lot of area to cover.
Their blood pressure system is quite unique.
Yeah, I heard that giraffes don't live ever much beyond 25 years because their heart's going to work so hard during their lifetime. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean 25 is actually a good age if you compare that to most other species. Besides things like elephants and rhino, they live longer, but it's a good age. I'm actually quite surprised at how tough they are, and how long they do last, given all the peculiarities of their physiology. I mean, you hear about these pilots, Top Gun and whatnot, wearing G-suits to cope with the G-forces. They have a G-suit around their legs to cope with the blood pressure forces.
Oh, really?
Otherwise their arteries and veins would burst down there. So they have this sort of fibrous sheath around their legs under the skin, and then they also have sort of fortified blood vessels to cope with that pressure. And in our language, our sort of systolic blood pressure is 120. Theirs will go up to close to 300, just down at the feet. Yeah.
So well, on our left is a lion.
Absolutely. Look at that magnificent female. She looks huge too. I don't know if it's just the angle that she's lying at. Yeah, beautiful, especially in this morning sunshine.
Yes.
obviously warming up from the night where it got quite chilly here. And just over to our right is
another one there, isn't
there.
there?
Yeah, they are incredible. If you think of how stroppy your 5 kilogram domestic short hair can be at home, and you multiply that by 20.
So I can see a herd of kudu walking up on their ridge there. And she's got her eyes on those kudu.
Yeah. Certainly not seem to be
not very active. They're doing what lions do best, which is when she has her head up. That's also can be unusual. Now we are heading off to this veterinary procedure on the white rhino. So we're approaching the meeting point now. So just tell us again why we're doing this procedure, and then what are we going to do when we get there?
Yeah, so the guy that monitors the rhino, he's picked up where her crash is. So we're going to meet a little bit away from that point so we don't disturb them, because the helicopter's got to come and meet us there.
Okay. And why do we have a helicopter?
So today we're using a helicopter just because the rhino in quite an awkward position down in quite a deep valley and on one of the extremities of the reserve. We were actually hoping for this procedure to be darting from a vehicle, but it hasn't worked out that way, so we've got the backup of a helicopter. You and I can't do this procedure alone, unfortunately, so we're going to meet the rest of the team, and we'll just talk through the plan with that team, get all the equipment ready, make sure everyone knows what their jobs are before the time. Obviously it's good to have a plan, sometimes it'll change. And then we'll wait for the chopper to come, and from there I'll get in the helicopter. We'll go and see if we can move the rhino to the safest possible place before we do the darting, and then you guys are going to join us from the ground team side.
We'll just come in. So and it's quite an intense, I've been lucky enough to be on a couple of these procedures in the past. It's quite intense, isn't it, in terms of the rhino is down under an anaesthetic?
Yeah, it's always stressful working with them. Obviously the risks are high. The terrain we're working in, things can go wrong. There's some undulations and steep areas. It's got quite slippery because we've had a bit of rain recently. So the vehicles getting in and out there might be an issue. And so there are a lot of moving parts to the process which we've got to think through. That's why the planning and the meeting beforehand is to try and sort of coordinate that all as best as we can.
And the reason we're doing this, of course, is to keep the rhinos safe. We're putting these collars on so we can track where they are and stay one step ahead of the poachers.
Absolutely, yeah. The collars are an essential part of what we do here. It means your resources can be focused around rhino and not spend, like we have done, all their time looking for animals. And it concentrates what is a very limited, expensive resource to the animals that need it the most.
And I guess I'm particularly proud of the fact that Helping Rhinos and our supporters have funded a significant number, I think, probably in the regions of 80 to 90 of these collars over the last 2 or 3 years now.
No, without that assistance we would not be able to do what we do. It's an enormous expense looking after them, but these pieces of technology don't come cheap. Putting them on is not a cheap process, so it's a valuable partnership between ourselves and you and your supporters to work together to try and maximize their chances of success.
So I guess thank you everyone who's watching, because your support means we can do procedures like we're going to go and do today.
So fortunately the vet team have got my gun ready.
That's your dog gun?
It's my gun. I don't know why it's so dusty, but we're going to give it a little wipe now. Critical thing is to make sure we've got enough gas in there, make sure the scope is working, so that's all good. Not a bad idea when you're working with the gun to check that it's safe, so that's fine. And then in this box we've got a few ingredients that I'll wear around my waist. It's got emergency drugs in it for humans and the rhino work we need to do. And then today we're going to work with a combination of hyaluronic acid, which is also used in ladies' cosmetics, good for wrinkles.
Yep. Like the zebra.
Yep. So if you if I find a box missing, I know you've taken that for cosmetic purposes. And then this is the tranquilizer that we're going to be using, called azaparone, and then we're going to mix that with this ingredient here, which is etorphine, or M99 sometimes.
Okay. And the rhinos don't take that much, do they, to be knocked out?
Oh, it's just a tiny bit amount. Let me show you quickly, because it's quite a staggering concept to bring these massive animals down with. We're going to use 3.5 milligrams today, so this is just water that I'm demonstrating with. But yeah, this anesthetic is tiny. I mean, that's it.
So that will bring down an adult rhino.
Well, in this case, it's a 4.5-year-old rhino.
Okay.
She's not quite adult, but that's all that's required to make her go to sleep.
That's incredible.
So those other ingredients they complement this, but this is what we call the knockdown drug. Yeah.
And how quickly does that take effect once you get the dart into the rhino?
It'll take about 5 minutes. Yeah. It's not immediate, but it is fast enough to make it quite an impressive drug cocktail that gets them to fall over.
See the dots looking out of the nearest us.
Okay, so ground team are just securing the rhino. We've got blindfold and earplugs in.
Is that okay?
I wonder if we shouldn't take her for a little more of a walk. She's going to walk herself. Let's keep turning it, Okay, let's let go of the back of it. Okay, that's fine. Well done, good girl. Good girl. So what we're looking for here, just for all these anesthetic drugs to stabilize. She's still quite awake. She's got her head lifted up by herself, which means that there's quite a lot of tension in this muscle. And we're waiting for this part of it to relax. She could still stand up, but I'm hoping she'll get more and more sleepy. So that blood color is okay. I would say we're
happy with that, yeah?
Yeah, we're in about 85%. It should get better as the drugs that we've just given her kick in.
The rhino, this big and beautiful, is going to get 30 mils of this cryo vitamin mixture.
Okay.
So we've got 20 there, and then we'll do another 10 after that.
Why is that not coming off? There you go. So that just goes in just here?
Yeah, so what you're going to do is you're going to put the needle right into the muscle there, kind of go at an angle like this.
Like that there?
Yep, perfect. And then you'll pull back on the syringe before you
just in like that, is that enough?
Yeah, go ahead and pull it out, and then just cover your finger afterwards. There you go. So, and I'll draw you up 10 more.
Okay.
So this is just going to help her with the effects of the anesthetic. It'll just kind of help her feel a little bit better afterwards.
And we're drawing the blood so we can send it off to do blood tests and check for their general health?
Yeah, so in her case, we're not too worried about her health, but we are doing a series of research studies on them. This particular one is looking at the tick-borne parasites that they carry in their blood. So that's going to go into that data bank for that study. Okay, thanks, Janine. Okay, so Natalie's just got a microchip ready for us here.
Maybe.
Thank you. Okay, do you want it?
Oh no.
She's broken it. Oh dear. Okay, let's just get that in there without knocking the chip out the end. Okay, so don't touch the green yet.
Okay.
Just get that in under the skin.
Just anywhere?
Yeah, you can
anywhere here?
Just straight in there, you're good. Push it all the way, push it all the way. Okay, right on. Okay, now depress the plunger.
Just in like that?
Yep. And then we're just going to pinch that skin off while you pull out, so that the microchip stays behind. Okay, good. And then we need to just make sure with the scanner that it's got it working. Cheers. Okay, so that's in.
So you've got
that's
it
her
now.
number.
It's reading
that's
her.
body check
Okay,
number.
so now we need to record that.
Okay.
Natalie, do you want this?
Natalie's got the number. I'll do this one. Okay.
Okay.
Good girl.
Okay, you have the most important job. Don't lose these pieces.
What we're done for. The whole thing's been a waste of time.
Luckily for you, I have spares.
Okay.
But still don't
Good,
lose
because I
them.
felt the pressure.
Okay.
So this, I presume we've got to get just right in terms of not too tight,
Yeah.
not too loose, because
Not
she's
too
still
loose.
growing, right?
Exactly.
So yeah.
Yep. So we'll just kind of play around, see what works best. We don't want it too low because it'll start rubbing there.
Yeah.
We're gonna need a grinder, please. And then you see how this sticks up.
Yeah,
We don't want
we
it
gotta
to
get that
cut or
off, yeah.
cut anything else. So we're just gonna grind it off and then file it down, make it smooth. And then we'll cut this excess off.
No, she wants to stand. Okay. Let's just leave her. Let her settle down. Yeah. So she's
She's
at
beginning
that.
to come through. Come with
She's
her.
at that anesthetic plane now. If we stimulate her, she's going to stand up.
Yeah, yeah.
So, a successful procedure. She's actually had a very, very nice anesthetic. You see how light she is. Her ears are flicking around. She's
Yeah.
starting to lift her head, which means from an anesthetic safety point of view, she's in a good space.
Right.
We've done what we needed to do today, so now we're going to wake her up. It's quite a remarkable drug, this, because we inject it intravenously. So see these little veins here on
Veins
the
in
ears?
there. Yeah, yeah.
So I'm just going to go in here. She's twitching a little bit under my hands as I do this.
Right.
And then this will take 2 minutes and she'll be on her feet again. So that goes in there.
So 2 minutes. So now we need to get out quickly. Eh?
Yeah,
We need
just
to.
And we just sneak away quietly and we're off.
Yeah, you can see she's already quite awake. Eh?
Sometimes when you take the blindfold off, they go, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And they just jump straight up. So the first thing you notice is her breathing will start getting deeper as the anesthetic gets, the suppression effect of the anesthetic comes away. There we go. So she'll be a bit wobbly to begin with. Good girl. So we've reversed the main opioid anesthetic, but she will have the effects of the tranquilizer, and there's also an interesting sedative in her that we use to relax those muscles, and that in humans causes amnesia. So listen to her calls.
So because she was with another rhino, so she's now calling for that other rhino, is she?
Trying to find a friend.
Yeah.
A friend is unlikely to be within earshot, but she'll start moving around,
Roaming around,
and,
she'll looking for
and smelling her tracks, and then she'll follow her. Beautiful noise that.
So Will, we're beginning to head back now, but so we've seen a load of things today, from fitting rhino collars. We've talked a lot about the need for more land.
Yeah.
What are the rhino conservation generally? What do you think are the priorities that we need to focus on going forward? Like, what can Helping Rhinos and our supporters do to really make a difference to the operations on the ground here?
Yeah, I mean the ongoing stuff obviously is keeping boots on the ground, well trained, well equipped. But I think our challenge for the future, especially as success breeds success, so we growing more rhino numbers, we're hoping to expand into more rhino habitat, is if we have to keep multiplying those expenses, it just becomes more and more expensive. So how can we make these systems more efficient?
Yeah.
And I think technology will play a bigger role, particularly as it's accelerating. I think drones and the use of drones, they're becoming better and they're becoming cheaper. So we need to work hard at integrating all of that technology together.
So really we need more people on the ground, more technology, and keeping on top of technology like drones, like the collars, you know, AI collars, you know, reading the animals' behaviour. So those are the sort of things I guess that we can do. But I always say that the rhino crisis is it's a global problem with a global solution, and I think everyone around the world has a role to play.
Definitely.
And hopefully we have managed to bring a little bit of this world into people's lives if they can't travel here. So I guess just to close, we should just say thank you to all of our rhino guardians for your support, for your continued support. We tried to just bring you a little window to show you what difference you are making on the ground here, and hopefully bring you some joy and some fun and some African wildlife as well. But
thanks, Rhino Guardians. Wish you could be with us in the flesh, but nice to have you here virtually.
Please keep supporting us, and we'll see you all soon.